friends, and welcome back to Handmade Not Hallmark. We are on card 13 of my fall series for this year. Today I want to share with you this beautiful card featuring some amazing products from HoneyBee, so let's get into it. Today I'm going to be using the Garden Harvest Florals. I love this set. I love all of the beautiful floral images and that awesome watering can. I pre-stamped all of my images using some Simon Says Intense Black ink on top of some Neenah Solar White cardstock because I'm going to be using my Copic markers today. There is quite a bit of coloring, and all of the colors that I used will be listed along the side here. I'm going to put on some music while the coloring is going on. Once it's all finished, we'll come back and finish up this beautiful card together. Once all my images were colored, I cut them out using the coordinating dies, and we're going to get started on our background panel. I wanted to add a little bit of interest to this piece of Bristol smooth cardstock cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which I plan on trimming down later. I'm just taking some Speckled Egg Distress Oxide Inks, and I'm spritzing it with some shimmer spray that I have here in this little bottle, and I'm just going to paint kind of haphazardly all over the back of this panel. I wanted it to look kind of, I want to see those brush strokes is what I was going for, and I just layered up this Speckled Egg Distress color. I really, really like this color. It's a nice kind of moody grayish blue color. I used it in my last video, and I loved it so much that I wanted to use it in this one as well. And again, I'm just painting on that color, layering up the color so it intensifies a little bit more, and I really wanted to make sure I could see all of those brush strokes. Once I had a good amount of paint on here, I decided I wanted to splatter it with a little bit of the Speckled Egg and a little bit of some white gouache. I really like doing this. I think it adds a lot of interest to the backgrounds. Not everybody's a fan of splatter, but I really think that it adds just a little bit to the card. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of gold splatter with my Prima metallic watercolors here, because I am planning on adding a gold sentiment later, and I wanted to make sure I added just a little bit more gold to kind of tie everything in together. I'm just watering it down, and I'm just flicking my paintbrush to add that gold splatter in the back, and I just love this color combination, this gold with the speckled egg. I think it looks really, really good. Once I set that off to the side to dry, I took some gold cardstock here and some white cardstock, and I'm just cutting out my sentiment. I'm going to cut out the shadow bubble with the gold, and then I cut out the hello portion 3 times using some 110-pound cardstock from Simon Says Stamp, and this hello die is from HoneyBee. This is their Bitty Buzzwords hello die. And I'm just going to stack up all of these hellos on top of each other to create a nice dimensional die cut. I really like doing this instead of adding foam tape, especially on these really scripty fonts. And I'm just using some Barely Art adhesive. This has become my new favorite adhesive. I really like it a lot, and I highly recommend it. Once I get all those stacked up together, I'm going to attach this dimensional die cut on top of our gold shadow bubble, using that same adhesive, and I really like the way that this looks. I love making these dimensional die cuts. I really think they add to the cards. Once I had that done, I'm going to cut out our painted background with an MFT A2 stitched STAX die. This is the largest one from that set, and we're going to attach it down onto a piece of craft cardstock that I have folded into a top folding A2 sized card. And I love that bit of craft behind this. I really think it adds to the kind of rustic look I was going for. This card may not scream fall, you know, with like pumpkins and things like that, but I think all of these flowers, especially the sunflowers and things, I really think they kind of have a fall vibe to them. You could easily, you know, swap out some sentiments to make it more fall, but I really like the way that this turned out. Like I said, it may not scream fall, but I think the colors lend itself to being a fall card. Next, I'm taking a sentiment from the Everything is Wonderful stamp set from HoneyBee that says, you are the best. And I'm going to stamp that down using some, I think I used the khaki ink from Simon Says. Excuse me. And I'm so happy that it's Friday. It's been a very long week, and I've got just a few more videos for my fall series for this year, and I am in preparation for my holiday series. I have already started some cards, so if you follow me on Instagram, you'll be able to see some sneak peeks of what I've got coming for you guys starting in October. Once I had that stamped down, we can get to assembly of our card. Now, I played around quite a bit with the placement of all of these images. I know I wanted to use them all because I loved them all, and I took the time to color them, so I really wanted to make sure I could at least try to fit them all on to the card here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white Jelly Roll pen and just add a little bit of detail to these. I didn't want to go too crazy just because this, especially with the watering can, it gets covered up quite a bit. But I just want to add a little bit here and there. Again, just to add some interest. You could, you know, easily leave this out if you don't like this. I just think it adds just a little bit more to these images. And I'm going to take my water brush pen. I think this is my Wink of Stella. And I'm just adding some glitter to the inside of all of the flower centers here before I add my white gel pen and onto the leaves, so that I can put the white gel pen on over top of the glitter. Once I had all that detail work finished up, I am going to start assembling the card. I'm going to start with placing down the watering can nice and flat to the panel because I plan on popping up the florals around the watering can. Get that centered up here, and I had a little bit of kind of bleed through with my Copic markers, and my fix if the colorless blender doesn't work is I just go along with a white gel pen and color over those areas. It works just enough to kind of hide those mistakes, so if you ever have any issues with that, you can easily cover that up. Now here you're going to see me kind of fiddling around with placement of my flowers. This does change eventually. I just wanted to kind of get an idea of how much I could fit on the front here without it being, you know, maybe too overcrowded or anything like that. It probably is overcrowded, but I really like the way that this turned out. I love all of these florals. I've always wanted to try to do this on my own porch, you know, get a nice big old watering can and, you know, plant some flowers in it. And maybe at my new house. Once I kind of had an idea of where I wanted everything placed, I took the flowers that I wanted to pop up and I added some 3M foam tape to the back of them and gonna get those stacked up here. I really wanted to make sure that the sunflower was right in the front, considering that this is a fall themed card. I wanted to make sure the sunflowers were pretty prominent. And I'm just using some Tombow glue to help me get these all in position. And I trimmed a few leaves here and there that needed to be trimmed down to get them to fit in our little floral grouping here. And I really like the little sprigs with berries on them. You could color the berries red. I felt like white was a nice complement to all of these other rich colors that I've got going on here. And again, I love all of these flowers. So cute. You could definitely use these on their own. You don't necessarily have to use the watering can, but I really wanted to try to use majority of the images from this set. I think if I wanted to kind of create it more fall themed, I could have added the pumpkin or something maybe down beside the watering can, but I like just the florals and all of these nice rich colors. And again, you could color these for spring as well and some nice pastels. I think those would look really pretty as well. Once I had my arrangement all finished here, I didn't have a place for that last flower, so I decided to attach it to the inside of the card, and I think that looks really, really nice. Kind of adds, again, to the card, kind of rounding all of the images together. Next we can take our greeting here, and I wanted to add just one more small phrase to our greeting that says hello friend. And I took this greeting from the Thanks stamp set from HoneyBee, and I just stamped it down using that same Speckled Egg Distress ink, and I'm going to cut it out using a banner die. Once I have that all done, we can attach the remaining portion of our greeting here, that dimensional die cut. Add the little hello or the little friend greeting underneath the hello, and then we're going to add some Nuvo crystal drops in Simply White. I wanted to add, again, just a little bit more dimension and detail behind where these images are, again, just to add some interest, and that will finish up this card for today. I really hope you enjoyed this fall themed floral arrangement. I had a lot of fun coloring all of these really beautiful images. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you guys again here next week. Bye! On screen, I've got a few videos that I think you'll enjoy. Consider hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more videos at my YouTube channel.